Welcome, everybody, to the Wise Take MLB DFS podcast. I am your host, El Stevo. You can find me on Twitter at L_Steve_O. And I am joined by the always magnificent Johnny the Freak. How you doing today, Mr. Johnny?
Doing good, man. Doing good. We have having those podcasts in a couple weeks here on a Friday, but we're back to get this thing going and get some of the nation and some of our YouTube and Facebook and Twitch followers some picks for tomorrow and some insight on the slates we got going on tomorrow.
Absolutely. I'm actually really happy to be back. It's been a few weeks. Been still watching the game, still picking up some new tricks, and as always, following your cash sheets, my friend. It is fantastic. And well, we've got two slates coming in today. A 10-game early slate and a 4-game main slate for tomorrow evening, for Saturday, 9th. So you ready to get started?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, cool. Yeah, I'm sporting out some different headsets, so I'm actually trying to see if it works out a little bit better for my sound and stuff like that. That way I can come in, avoid some technical difficulties and such. All right, so starting up for the first game of the 10-game slate, we got the Milwaukee Brewers at the Philadelphia Phillies. Your over-under for this game is 8, and Milwaukee's got Brent Suter taking on Jake Arrieta. And Milwaukee is your plus 112 underdog, and Philly's your minus 127 favorite. What do you think about this game?
Yeah, so we got Jake Arrieta on the other side here. He's cheaper. Last time he pitched, he was a little bit more expensive, so we got a little bit of a discount. And then on the other side we have Brett Suter, 5,500. I think it's just way too cheap for him today. I think I prefer to go to Suter here at his price. He's been pitching really well. He's not a big strikeout guy. He doesn't throw the ball hard. He's in like the mid 80s fastball, so it's nothing it's not a really imposing pitch or anything like that. But he definitely gets the job done. You can look at his game logs. He's been pitching really well. Last Sunday, I know we were struggling to look for an SP2, and he was a great option and made me a lot of money. So I definitely have a lot of interest in him tomorrow in GBPs and cash. Really, really cheap price. On Arrieta, I just don't have the want to play him, against this Brewers team. The Brewers, they do have a lot of strikeouts in their lineup, but at the same time, there is so much power in this lineup. It's just not a team I really want to pitch against in this small ballpark in Philly. So it's Arrieta's a cross off for me. Definitely, there's some good bats here on Philly, but I have very little interest in them tomorrow. We got Hoskins coming back, which is going to definitely put is going to lower Suter's ownership a little bit because he's such a good hitter. But for me, it's still Suter 5,500. I like him a lot. And the Brewers bats, I think they're all in play tomorrow, 1 through 5. So I definitely think you want to take a look at that. Not a cash play for the stack. The 1 through 5 is definitely GBP. I don't have any interest in cash game besides Suter in this matchup.
All right, moving right along. So definitely, wow, no interest in Suter in the matchup at all. Really?
No, Suter. I love Suter.
Oh, okay. You mean Arrieta? Okay.
Arrieta. Suter's a cash game for me. He's the only guy I like in cash games. I think on the others, no Arrieta for me. Hoskins is the only guy I like on Philly if he makes the lineup. And Milwaukee, that whole 1 through 5, they're all just GBP plays for me. No cash there.
Okay, now I get it. Okay, cool. All right, so for a minute there, I got a little confused with the pitchers, but yeah, I know Suter is definitely the play there. So right after that one, we've got Kevin Gausman and the Baltimore Orioles taking on Aaron Sanchez and the Toronto Blue Jays. With an over-under of 9, we've got Baltimore as your plus 116 underdog and Toronto your minus 131 favorite. What do you think about this one?
Yeah, so like for me, Aaron Sanchez, I won't play him. He's a bad pitcher. I think you can definitely take some of these Baltimore bats against him in GPPs. Mancini, Jones, Machado, probably one of the more popular options. He's just a really good hitter. Chris Davis has massive VVP against him. He's only 2,900. So I can definitely see the merit in going here tomorrow in GPPs. There's not really a cash game play on this side. On the other side, There's Curtis Granderson, phenomenal play against Kevin Gausman. He's just hitting at the top of the lineup. The only problem that we have getting into cash lineups is that once a lefty pitcher comes in, he's going to get the platoon. He's going to get platoon. So, like today, I played him in my lineups. I think he got one at bat or two at bats, and that was it. So, Curtis Granderson's a great cash game play because he can hit a home run right off the bat here against Gausman. He's done it in the past. So I like him a little bit. I just don't know if I can go there in cash because of the platoon issue here. And then other than that, like I got a little bit of interest in Teoscar Hernandez, and that's really going to be it. Maybe if you want a cheap shortstop play, you can look at Alemez Diaz. He's fine, but I have a lot of interest in Gausman in GPPs. He's a big slider guy. I like it. He pitched pretty decent. He put up a 20 spot last time against this Blue Jays team. He's not a pitcher that's going to go clean. He's not going to run a clean sheet. He's definitely going to give up probably 1 or 2 home runs. But if he can limit the damage and keep runners off base and just give up a couple solo shots, he'll be fine here. I don't like any cash, but GVPs, he's a pretty good option tomorrow at 7,300.
All right, that's solid advice. Next game is going right along. We got the Los Angeles Angels and the lefty Tyler Skaggs taking on Kyle Gibson, the righty, and the Minnesota Twins. The Twins are your minus 105 favorite. In fact, they're both at 105. So this one seems to be a pick 'em, at least for the odds. What do you think about these lineups?
Yeah, so Kyle Gibson's not a terrible pitcher. It's not a pitcher I normally like to stack a lot of guys against. But there's some good guys, some good plays in here tomorrow that have definitely matched up well against Gibson in the past. So I think you can go here a couple plays here in cash games. I don't really want to go do a full stack here in GPPs tomorrow. So the guys I like here on the Angels side is going to be Ian Kinsler, Mike Trout, and Upton. Those are the 3 guys that I'm looking at here for the Angels, the top 3. That's really it on the Angels. I like Tyler Skaggs a little bit here. $8,000. We're going over to Minnesota. Minnesota. A lot of lefties in this lineup. The guys that hit righties, that hit lefties, I should say, well, are going to be like Dozier, and Sano kind of struggles. He's better against righties. You got Max Kepler, who's better against lefties. So Max Kepler is probably one of the guys I like in this lineup here against Skaggs. Would probably be like Skaggs, Dozier, and then I like a little bit of Sano, and then probably Robbie Grossman would be the guys I like the best here tomorrow in this matchup. Oh, no, sorry, I forgot Eduardo Escobar. I really don't want to stack against Skaggs because he's a good pitcher in general. But I think like sprinkling a few of those guys throughout your lineups wouldn't hurt. Skaggs is just going to be a GBP play tomorrow. I can see some merit in people going here as an SB2 in cash, but it's definitely not for me. And Gibson, it's not a guy I want to go to tomorrow. It's really just the top 3 Angels, Skaggs and some GBPs, and just sprinklings of Dozier, Kepler, and basically it's going to be the 1, 3, 4, 5, 6 in your GBPs. But literally would just be like 1 or 2 per lineup. I wouldn't go crazy on a stack.
Okay, so that one just pepper your lineup in with maybe a couple of those for GPPs.
Yeah, if it's something you want to do, it's not a must. That's not a must at all. Okay. The only must I think is going to be the Kinsler, Trout, and Upton. I think those are must plays tomorrow. I think you need to get those 3 guys somehow in your lineups, either as like a mini stack or sprinkled in. Their profile just way too good, and Upton's on a hot streak right now, and so is Kinsler, and Mike Trout's just one of the best baseball players there is. So those are guys you really want to get in your lineups. They're on a hot streak. I just lock them in.
Very cool. All right, next game I've got a lot less information for. I've got just Nick Kingham, the righty from Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh Pirates are taking on the Chicago Cubs and the lefty John Lester. Just moving right into that one. That's all the stats I have for you. Nick Kingham is 7,100 and John Lester's an 8,200. You recommend any of these two guys into your lineup or any of the lineups that they bring with them?
Yeah, I just remember Chicago, so we never get the lines. We'll get it. We won't get it till tomorrow when the
Yeah.
lineups come out. Based on the wind, it always has to do with the wind here. So Vegas is afraid to commit because this is a ballpark that wind really does matter. If wind's blowing out, it's definitely negative against pitchers. If the wind's blowing in, it makes you want to play the pitchers. So, yeah, we definitely want to wait for that. But yeah, Kingham, he's a good young pitcher. John Lester, he's not bad. Last Sunday, he was the pitcher everybody was looking at because there was no other pitchers, and he pitched a good game. The problem we get here is we have some these bats here in Pittsburgh. They're not big strikeout guys. They don't really strike out a lot. They're very pesky, and there's some good lefties here that can really get to him. So I'm not interested in John Lester. Definitely in cash. I can see the merit in going here into some GPPs, depending on the weather situation for low ownership because he won't be highly owned tomorrow. So other than that, I don't really have a lot of interest in Lester. Nick Kingham on the other side is very interesting. But the issue that we always are going to face whenever we're facing the Cubs is that you have a very, very high strikeout team that has a ton of power. So it's like the yin and yang. Like, what team's going to show up? Is this going to be the home run team that's going to go and hit 6 bombs tomorrow? Or is this the team that's going to go and strike out 10? They definitely have the upside to do both. So Kingham's skill set here, I think, is kind of a wash. It kind of makes me not want to play Kingham, and it kind of makes me not want to play the Cubs. So unless the weather dictates that there's blowing wind out tomorrow. So really, for me, it's going to just be a washout. This game I'm just going to play it like it doesn't exist.
So this game is kind of like wherever the wind blows. I'm sorry.
Yeah, if it blows out, if we get like 20-mile-an-hour winds tomorrow, this is going to be like 10.5 over. If it's hot tomorrow and 15, 20-mile-an-hour winds, this will be the highest owned game on the slate because of that. But the way it looks right now, just the matchups, without knowing about the weather and the wind, it's a washout for me right now. Like it's no interest at all.
Okay, cool. So. All right, that's actually good advice. It's amazing how technical it gets in there with just the wind alone dictating the pace of whether or not to play the.
It's not just it's not just the wind. You want the weather, you want heat, you want humidity, and you want dew point. You want all those you want all the weather factors to kind of add up. So you want a good dew point. Anything over 70 dew point is good hitting weather. Anything over you're looking at the hotter the better for hitting weather. And the humidity, you want more humidity. You just want that ball to fly out of the ballpark. You want all the advantages in your favor. And then obviously winds is just going to push the ball towards the fence. So if you get all those good weather factors in 5, that's a big thing. And that makes the game more of an appetizing game. But right now, just looking at the whole situation that I have in front of me, it's not something that I really want to attack.
Okay. Yeah, it's kind of funny, man. I wish the humidity helped Miami. And
they always have they're in a dome though, so they always have it shut because it's too hot. So the problem is that it's a yin and yang. If you leave the dome open there and they play through the weather, first of all, it's not raining. Let's say it's a good hot day there. All they're going to do is hit home runs. So you're pitching because you have bad pitching in Miami. All you're going to do is tax your bullpen more because you're going to get your starter out of the game faster. You're going to get more use on a bad bullpen, and then you're just going to ring the scores up. So. No, they like to keep that roof closed there a lot because of all the rain and the weather. They want to keep the scores lower. And it's a big ballpark. Like, literally opening that roof kind of negates the ballpark being as big as it is, and it goes from a great pitching ballpark to a good hitter ballpark.
Wow, look at that. Solid facts. I actually live down here, and I did not know that. Holy crap.
Well, it's funny. Like, we had this series a couple days ago, Colorado and Cincinnati, and nobody was playing Colorado. And I'm like, wait a second, this is like light. This is like Coors Light here. This Reds ballpark is smaller than Colorado, but and it was hot in Colorado. It was hot in Cincinnati. So all the weather was telling us to play Colorado. The only difference is that we don't have the altitude to deal with. So it was literally just like those situations. And we were talking about that on the Y stream, and made us a bunch of money here. In Y Stake made us a bunch of money. Because we play those plays. We understand this is a good hitting environment. Just because you see a good high run total doesn't mean it's a great hitting environment. It's just sometimes telling you, Vegas is dictating this side's going to score a lot of runs, and a lot of money's coming in on that. But sometimes you have to kind of pick out matchups that are under-owned, that are in great environments. And so that's what you're looking for. We're looking for being able to stack a team that's going to go low-owned because the Vegas maybe made a mistake on a total, and maybe we're catching something on the weather that Vegas didn't have. And so that's what we kind of look to take edges.
I like that. Thanks for the breakdown, bro. That's actually really man, you broke that down to a science. So moving right along into the next part of the slate, we've got the Kansas City Royals. Danny Duffy, the lefty, is pitching for them. That's 4,800 for him. And we've got Trevor Cahill and the Oakland Angels. They're your -190 favorites. Kansas City's +170. Over under is 8. What do you think for this one?
Okay, YouTube, calm down. It's not the Angels. He made a mistake. It's the Athletics. I know you're going to say something.
Whoops.
But I know we're going to get trolled for that one. But yeah,
my bad.
Yeah, you're all good, brother. We're going to get trolled for that one, but it's all good. We corrected it. Man, I get the slip of the tongue so much with words. My mistake. Not only having to do these shows all the time, but all the sports that I do and all the content I do. Constantly reading, and names are like similar or have the same last name, the first name, and I do the same. I do it all the time, bro. So it's all good.
No worries.
Don't worry about it, dude. I get trolled for it all the time, bro.
So
it's all good.
If anything, the Kansas City Royals at the Oakland Athletics. Just to clarify. All right. So let's move right along into that.
Yeah, so Danny Duffy, man, this is a cheap price. He's been bad. He has his moments where he can be, pitch pretty well. I prefer him at home. If he was at home, I might take a shot at him at this price, with Oakland being a bunch of strikeouts waiting to happen here. But in this ballpark tomorrow, I have very limited interest in Danny Duffy. Don't have a ton of interest in the Royals. I respect Cahill as a pitcher. I think Cahill's a decent pitcher. I think he's viable tomorrow in GPPs. And then I think you can stack Oakland tomorrow against Duffy. All the right-handers are definitely in play. And then don't forget Matt Olson, a lefty. He's batting 5th. He's a great bat. Not a lot of people like to play lefty on lefty, but Matt Olson's got so much power. You don't want to leave him out of your stack if you're going to stack him, because he can hit a bomb or two. He's one of the only guys in this lineup that can definitely hit 2 bombs. So I like it a lot tomorrow. So yeah, Cahill is a decent GPP play. It's not a high upside guy. Just letting you guys know, with the Royals not being a bunch of strikeouts waiting to happen, they're very pesky. They make you work for your outs. So I can see Cahill going anywhere from 4 to 5 strikeouts tomorrow, putting up maybe 18 points. If you need 18 points from an SP2 or GPP guy, go ahead and take him. But I think he's safe. I think he'll have some ownership in cash games, but just not for me in cash. I kind of already set on 2 pitchers, and we'll get to my main guy here in a couple minutes. But yeah, I think you can do all that stuff I just talked about. Yeah, so JD Martinez is supposed to come back tomorrow from his back spasms, so that's going to make this lineup a little bit stronger. But if you really look at it, and if you've been watching the Red Sox, they really struggle against left-handed pitchers. Carlos Rodon, a couple years ago and last year, was a high prospect with a lot of good stuff here. Definitely very, very, highly touted in their system, but he's gone wild, and he's given up a lot of home runs. He's had a lot of issues there. But if we look at, just evaluate this, how the Red Sox have been playing this year against lefties, it makes Rodon almost in play. I really don't like to take pitchers against the Red Sox because they just have that explosive lineup. But at the same time, I don't know if I want to stack the Red Sox or play the Red Sox a lot, have a lot of exposure. I think you can look at the Red Sox because of the high total in cash games, for the block. But other than that, I don't think I'm going to go here tomorrow against the lefty. I just don't know if they're going to have a big scoring game. So And I don't really have a ton of interest in the White Sox here against Price. I don't think Price is going to make it in cash games consideration for me. I like his price. I just don't like what he's doing right now. Pitching, he's been pitching better, but he's not throwing hard. He's going to a lot of like secondary pitches to get outs. He's pitching more to contact instead of strikeouts. So it's really something I'm not looking for. You can maybe give him a shot on GPPs just because the White Sox are a big strikeout team. There's extra strikeouts waiting there. But with Price not being that big K guy anymore, he doesn't have that normal ones built in that he used to. So for me, it's going to be just maybe David Price and GPPs, and then fading the White Sox and Red Sox maybe just in some cash. But other than that, no GPPs for me on the Red Sox.
All right. Moving right on to the next one because we're starting to slowly round down to this 10-game slate, taking a big chunk out of it. We've got the Seattle Mariners and Felix Hernandez taking on the Tampa Bay Rays and Blake Snell. The Rays are minus 134 favorite. Seattle's plus 118. And your over-under at this park is 7.5.
Yeah, so this is the guy you want to look at tomorrow in your cash games. It's Blake Snell. He's going to be the highest owned pitcher on the slate by far. This is a guy that in the beginning of the year I was really hesitant to play, but he has been amazing this year. Completely, re-look at his career. This is why everybody wanted him. He was a very highly touted prospect that just never kind of got there. He figured things out this year, and he's there, man. He throws hard. He's got some good breaking stuff. So definitely a pitcher I want in cash games against these Mariners. Mariners don't really scare me tomorrow. Just not a bunch of guys I think that Snell's has already pitched well in this matchup this year. So it just shows us that there's a precedent there that he's able to get through these guys. And on the other side, I have no interest in Hernandez. Just not for me. He's kind of washed up here. No interest in the Mariners bats because I'm going to pitch Snell. But these Tampa Bay Rays, definitely against Felix Hernandez, are going to be a very low-owned stack here. I don't want to play them with my pitcher because they can give you some zeros. They can definitely have a bad outing because I like my pitcher here. But if you want to do a stack here and you stack different pitchers with them, I can definitely see the merit in wanting to go to Tampa Bay. Felix Hernandez, who's not very good anymore, and it is, in Tampa Bay. So I like that as a very contrarian stack tomorrow.
Oh, cool. All right. So we got the contrarian stack out the way there. Blake Snell is the highly touted prospect, like you were saying. Yes, it's going to be fun. Well, I like watching good pitchers do work. So that one's actually a game I'll probably try to tune into. But moving right along to that next one, Cleveland Indians at the Detroit Tigers. Your over-under is 9.5. You've got Mike Clevenger, the righty, taking on Mike Fiers, the righty as well. The Indians are your minus 164 favorites. And Detroit Tigers are plus 146 underdogs. What do you think about this matchup?
Yeah, so Cleveland, this is a great spot for them tomorrow against Mike Fiers. A lot of people think of Mike Fiers. Well, I think the industry's picking up that Mike Fiers is a big reverse splits guy here. You don't really want any lefties here against Mike Fiers. He's pretty decent against lefties. He's really bad against the righties. So for me, this Indians, there's just so many good plays here. And you got Mike Clevenger's a good pitcher. But on this slate with other pitching, I don't have interest in Mike Clevenger in cash games. GBPs, he's fine. This Detroit lineup has been catching on fire a little bit of late, and they've been hitting very well. But Clevenger's a little bit different of a story. He's a good right-handed pitcher. The guy I'm really worried about here is going to be Leonis Martin at the top here. Castellanos has got some power, and Candelario has got some power. Those are the guys I probably fear the most. Because with Clevenger, he brings a lot of wildness at points. He can walk a few guys here, and then one of these, Martin or Castellanos or Candelario can step up and hit a bomb, and now it's a 3-run home run instead of a solo shot. That does definitely, concern me a little bit with Clevenger. That's why I'm gonna leave it as a GPP only. But on the other side, the Indians are gonna be popular in cash because you have a really good option in cheap option at your SP2 in Sutter and Snell as your SP1. So people can afford these guys tomorrow. The problem is I think people are going to make mistakes and take the wrong bats. So like you want to go with Jose Ramirez would be your first play. He's the guy you definitely want to prefer. He's just been on fire. That's the guy you want. And then if you can fit in with Francisco Lindor, he's fine tomorrow at shortstop. I have a shortstop. I just rather punt tomorrow because I'd rather get in some other plays. And I think Lindor is better from the left side than he is from the right side. Fade Brantley tomorrow. He's left-handed. This isn't a good matchup for him. And E5 is fine tomorrow. So as many like Cleveland Indians as you can get in your lineups tomorrow in cash, the better you are. You just have to prioritize. What bats are more important than Mike Trout and JD Martinez and those kind of guys. But these guys are going to be very popular, and because they're so expensive, stacking them, people aren't going to be able to stack them and still get the pitching in that they want. So if you want to stack them and be very contrarian, you can definitely do that. And then for me on the Tigers, as I said, there's a couple guys that worry me a little bit on Clevenger, which just makes Clevenger GPP. But I have no interest in Mike Fiers at all, and I'm not going to play in these Tigers.
All right, cool beans there. All right, second to last game on this 10-game slate. I'm trying to fly through these here, just giving little snippets here and there. The real sauce, I guess, is in the wise stream tomorrow, right before, and this is a huge slate. I'm actually excited about it because I'm gonna be.
Well, we won't have a wide stream tomorrow morning, but it's all in my article and CK's article that we do tomorrow. We'll have a very in-depth article for cash and GPPs. We'll do a wide stream for the main slate, for the 4:00 West Coast game. So we do that at 2:30.
There we go. Thank you. That actually clears that up. But yeah, this is gonna be fun. This is gonna be a lot of fun to watch and play through. So moving to the next one, we got your favorite -129 St. Louis Cardinals taking on the Cincinnati Reds. They're the +114 underdog. Your 8.5 is, your over under is 8.5, and they're taking on it's Michael Wacha, the righty, or Washa, taking on Luis Castillo, the righty. What do you think about this? Anything you want to pull from these lineups?
Yeah, I mean, you got Luis Castillo's just got a lot of upside, a lot of talent. He's cheap tomorrow, 6,200, and it's against the Cardinals. If this was in St. Louis, I would definitely have a lot of interest in Castillo. But the problem that we have is that we're in a very small ballpark. They don't call it the Great American Small Park for no reason. It's going to be hot tomorrow. So the issues we have here is that there's a lot of the talented hitters on the right that are right-handed in this lineup. And they haven't been hitting right-handed pitching very well lately. But again, with being in a small ballpark, changes the confines of everything. It makes me not want to really go to Castillo, maybe in GPPs. But that's really the interest I have in him. But he's not going to be a top pitcher for me. He's probably going to be 5 or 6 tomorrow on my list. I don't have interest in Wacha at his price at 10,000. He's just not a guy that has a ton of upside. He's a very stable pitcher. He should be okay, but again, I don't really like him in this matchup in Cincinnati. Again, we can definitely see a lot of home runs here. The Reds can definitely get to him. They have a lot of power in that lineup. So, and they don't strike out a lot. So, 1 through 6 here on the Reds, definitely going to play against Wacha. I'm not going to stack against them. I'm probably going to sprinkle a couple of those guys in, but I can see the merit in wanting to stack them against Wacha in the Great American Small Park tomorrow. And on St. Louis, I'm just not going to play, a lot of these bats tomorrow against Castillo. They struggle against right-handed pitching. They can definitely, but again, in this ballpark tomorrow, they can definitely get to Castillo with the hitting environment that we're going to have. So I think Castillo is going to be a GPP play only. And I think with the Cardinals, you approach it this way. You take Matt Carpenter as a one-off, and that's kind of it, or you stack them. I don't think you take these righties as one-offs. I think if you're going to play like Tommy Pham and Jose Martinez and Ozuna, you just stack them. I think it's a stack them situation or leave them alone. But you can always play Matt Carpenter as a one-off as a lefty. Great opportunity tomorrow for him to hit a home run off a righty here in the Great American Small Park.
That sounds solid. All right. Last one on the 10 game slate. the early slate. We've got the San Diego Padres taking on the Miami Marlins. The over-under 7.5. They're both about, it's a pick 'em on this one. Minus 111 for the San Diego Padres and Tyson Ross, and minus 103 for the Miami Marlins and Dan Straley. So, what do you got for this one? Looks like Tyson Ross is 9,600. Dan Straley is 7K even.
Yeah, so like this game is going to be basically a cross off for me. Got Tyson Ross, $9,600, a lot for him. He's been pitching much better this year. He seems like he's figured things out again. But again, I can't pay that price. There's so many, I think, elite pitchers that are, or not even elite, but better pitchers than him. A couple elite pitchers that are better than him, cheaper than him. So I can't go there. Dan Straley, $7,000. I'll pass tomorrow. I think I can. I rather take some of these Padres bats than the Marlins. I think Tyson Ross has proved to me that he's not a gas can anymore. So I really don't have a lot of interest in the Marlins. I could definitely take some of these power guys here against the Marlins. Framil Reyes, Corey Spangenberg, Eric Hosmer, Travis Jankowski. These guys are all GPP plays, no cash games for me here. And if you're going to stack them, though, against Australia, that's fine. But don't forget Rafi Lopez here, left-handed catcher. He's got a ton of power. I know it's a big ballpark, but this guy, tremendous power. He can hit home run tomorrow. So, yeah, I like that. And then don't be afraid of Christian Villanueva, righty versus righty matchup here, third base option here. Just a ton of power. This guy can definitely take Australia deep tomorrow. So, Padres, I can see people stacking them, but no pitchers here for me, no Marlins, just maybe a Padres stack.
All right, so that's going to be the last game of the early slate. I forget? Did you want to do the roundup at the very end, or do you want to do it between slates?
So I'll just give it my thoughts real quick on the slate here. Perfect. On the first slate. So basically, if you're looking to play cash games, like where you're looking to go is you're looking to stick with the high, the high totals, obviously for your bats here. Your pitchers. From what I'm seeing here, it looks like Snell and Suter are going to be the 1-2 guys here on DraftKings. I would try to do everything you can to get Snell in on FanDuel as your regular pitcher, as your cash game pitcher. And on the two pitcher sites like DraftKings Fantasy Draft, it's Suter and Snell in cash. GPPs, again, we talked about some great options here. With Skaggs is a good option tomorrow. I think Gausman has some merit tomorrow. Cahill has got some merit as well. David Price, those are guys you want to really look at in your GBPs. And if you want to take a shot on Luis Castillo at his cheap price, you can. And when it comes to your cash game hitters, where you're looking for, you definitely want to look at tomorrow. It's going to be the Red Sox high total. Against Carlos Rodon, you want to take those there for the block here, and definitely the Cleveland Indians. I like those a lot tomorrow too. They're really expensive, so you can't get a lot of them in there. And as a mini stack here, you want to go ahead and throw in Trout, Kinsler, and Upton should be in your consideration for your cash games tomorrow. Those are the spots I'm really looking at in cash games, the two high totals, and then this Angels situation here for cash. And GBPs, we talked about it, your contrarian stacks. You definitely want to, look at those. Just remember that Boston, the high total, everybody's going to see that. So I would stay away from that game, especially with the lefty on the mound. And I would say in cash, Cleveland's fine, but in GBPs, you're going to want to fade that. A lot of people are going to go ahead and flock to that against Mike Fiers. Those are going to be really popular situations. You probably want to focus like on that Padre game maybe, or against the Reds against like Waka or something like that. Be a little bit different to make all the money. That's kind of my thoughts on the early slate.
All right, sounds great. So moving right along, let's have the 30, actually almost 36 minute mark. For those of you listening at home, I guess now time for the 4-game main slate. This one's gonna go by real quick, guys. So definitely get your pen and paper out or something. But starting off the 4-game slate is one of my favorite ballparks to watch games at, and that is it's Arizona Diamondbacks are taking on the Colorado Rockies. The over under is a monster 12. So I'm I'm freaking out about that. It's gonna be just fun to watch in general. Arizona comes in as your underdog at plus 123. Colorado's minus 139 favorite, and it's Matt Koch versus Chad Bettis.
Yeah, so if you decide that you want to play any of these pitchers in the game tomorrow, Chad Bettis or Matt Koch, go ahead and tweet me on Twitter, and we can set up a head-to-head, for cash games. So yeah. But yeah, no, don't play these pitchers, to be honest with you. Not a great situation. Matt Koch's a fraud. He gives up very hard contact and a lot of fly balls. This is not the ballpark you want to give it. You want to pitch him in. A lot of good lefties here that can hit him. So yeah, I really like the bats on both sides here. I think you can fade both pitchers with confidence, and just look at the bats here. Charlie Blackmon's probably gonna be the highest owned player on the slate. On the short slate, he should be. Then Arenado, Carlos Gonzalez, those guys are all in play. High total here. Probably going to get into almost the sevens tomorrow. We'll see that. That will be amazing again. High implied run total for a team 7. Haven't seen that for a while, but we can definitely see that here in this matchup. And on the other side, with Diamondbacks, Paul Goldschmidt's heating up. Jake Lamb against the righty. John Ryan Murphy. He's got power. In this ballpark. I think he'll be fine tomorrow. Don't sleep on David Peralta. He had a home run today. He's heating up as well. So I think you can do game stacks here. You can do individual team stacks. What I'm going to do is definitely if you're playing cash, you definitely want to attack the situation. I'll definitely have stacks of both teams and a game stack just in case it goes off. Now, if you're looking to fade because you have ownership, you can definitely fade it. I wouldn't suggest it with these two teams against these two pitchers. There's going to be a lot of runs scored. 12 runs right now as the implied total. We're probably going to see that raised tonight and tomorrow when we make our lineups. We might see that at like 12.5 or even 13 because these pitchers are both. Bettis isn't terrible, but Matt Koch is terrible. So, anyways.
That was funny. I've never heard you that aggressively before. It's like, yeah, if you're gonna play this, please meet me for a head-to-head. It's so funny.
It took like 4 games for him to finally get rocked. Like he was like regression. I was playing him in some of those matchups. Like I was making money, and I'm just like looking at this guy. I'm like, man, like this guy's just getting lucky. And then finally he just got blown up, and he's getting blown up again. And now he's in Colorado. Like this is not a good matchup. There's just no chance.
This is too funny. So yeah, if anything, I second that. I think maybe that way I can win some money too off of that one with these pitchers. So next up is the Subway Series, one of my favorite times of year when then the Mets and the Yankees take each other on. So this one will be fun, especially watching this one from home for sure. My wife's a huge Yankees fan, and I'm a huge Mets fan, so just on principle, not on not on DFS, but we've got the Yankees are minus 153 favorites with an over-under of 8.5, taking on the Mets at plus 136 as your underdog. Domingo Herman, or German, if you want to say it the English way, he's 8,500, and Steven Matz is 5,600.
Yeah, so I got on this short slate, we got to pick some guys here. I'm sure people are going to be looking at Herman tomorrow against the Mets here. Mets just not the most imposing offense here. They are better against righties though, but Herman's got some really good strikeout stuff. He's not too expensive. He's only 8,500 tomorrow, so I definitely can see a lot of guys going here. I definitely think the Yankees stack is firmly in play tomorrow. This run total looks a little low, but I can see this stack definitely being lower owned because of Colorado and Houston totals, but this might be a stack you want to play. I think it's going to get the lower ownership of the 3 situations. So Out of only 4 games, this is somewhere you might want to stack. When I'm in low ownership, like we're talking about, maybe 20% instead of like 40, 50%. I think Colorado's going to be probably in like the 45, 50% tomorrow because of the total. So if you want a low end stack, go ahead and take the Yankees here. If you're going to stack the bats, don't take Domingo here as your pitcher, because if he has a bad game or gives up a couple homers, he's going to ruin your stack. So yeah, I would not suggest to pitch your pitcher with your stack. And then the other side, yeah, Matz, he's cheap, but he gives it up. And I know he's had a couple good outings lately, but definitely not a pitcher I want to pitch against the Yankees. There's just too much power here. And if you're not really confident in German or Herman, whatever you want to call him, go ahead and take these lefties against him. He's not going to have a clean game tomorrow. I can definitely see him giving up a couple runs here. So you can definitely play some of these guys on him. And especially on short slates, like the one thing you got to remember is that you gotta find a pitcher, or on DK or on other sites that have two pitchers. You got to find two pitchers, and sometimes you run out of options of hitters. It's okay on short slates like this to play your hitters, one or two hitters against your pitchers. Normally, that's not a good strategy in cash or in larger field GBPs, or larger slates. We tend not to want to do that. But when you have a 4 game slate like that, like this, you want to play the best plays, and sometimes it just so happens you play your pitcher against your hitter. I do that all the time in short slates. So just want to throw that out there. And then, yeah, so lefty bats, Mets, Yankees stacks fine. And then Herman's going to be popular. No Mats tomorrow.
Sweet. All right. Moving right along to another high. It looks like it's going to be another high scoring game and another hometown game, so to speak. Our home state game. We got the Houston Astros taking on the Texas Rangers. Houston is your minus 185 favorite. The over under is 10 against your Texas Rangers as a plus 165 underdog. We got Charlie Morton, the righty, at 12,400. That's wow. That's a heck of a salary. Against Mike Minor at 5K.
And this is probably going to be the best hitting environment. When I say hitting environment, I should say weather. Coors is going to be, obviously it's Coors where we have the higher altitude, but this game is going to be hot. It's going to be, in the mid 90s tomorrow. You're going to have probably, 60-70% humidity. So it's definitely a very good environment for hitters. But we have Charlie Morton, who's an elite pitcher on the slate for sure. Most expensive guy on the slate against the Rangers. Rangers, hit righties okay. Like their lefties are their best bats. But Charlie Morton's elite. I can see him being safe tomorrow as a cash game play tomorrow. He's going to be highly owned just because there's not a lot of pitching options to choose from here. We got the Coors game where no one's going to take a pitcher from there. And then we got this Herman and Morton. I think the pitchers that you're going to see that are going to be highly owned are going to be Charlie Morton and Herman in cash tomorrow. I can see some guys taking shots on Mike Minor tomorrow in GPPs just because the Astros have not hit left-handed pitching very well. I do have some interest in the Astros, though, but not as a stack because they have not really been hitting the lefties very well this year. I would take maybe a mini stack here, a couple, maybe 2 or 3 plays here. And they're also really expensive, so it's going to be hard to fit, Herman and Morton in cash games and, get a bunch of these Astros in. Especially with Colorado, I'd prefer Colorado first anyways. So, I think this game is going to go over-owned just because it's Texas. People think that they're, really a really bad team. But I think that this game is going to be lower runs scored in this game than I think in the Yankees game. I think the Yankees are going to outscore Houston tomorrow. So for me, it's this game is going to be a cash game play because of the total, obviously. But in GVPs, like I really have little to no interest in this game. And it's just Charlie Morton because he's the best pitcher on the slate.
Definitely. All right. Last game of the 4-game slate. So this made it really easy on us. It's usually reversed. We've got the Atlanta Braves taking on the Los Angeles Dodgers. Atlanta is your plus 164 underdog. LA is minus 185 favorite. And your pitchers are Anibal Sanchez against Alex Wood, the lefty. Anibal is 6,500 and Alex Wood is 9,400.
Yeah, so Anibal Sanchez is not a complete gas can, but it's not a situation I want to go to with these lefties here on the Dodgers. They've been heating up. They've been playing a lot better. They've been putting up runs lately. So I like some of these Dodgers bats here. You can take all the lefties here. Jock Peterson's been on fire. I definitely think he's fine. He's pretty cheap, so he's fine. I'm not going to play Anibal Sanchez tomorrow. I'm not going to play any of these Braves bats against the Woods. Against Wood really, unless it was like Ozzy Albies. He's fine tomorrow. But that's it. Alex Woods is a decent pitcher. He's a little expensive tomorrow. Talent wise, he's probably the second best pitcher on the slate behind Morton, right in between Herman and Morton. But the problem that we have running into is it's a Dodger pitcher, and they've been just they have very short leashes. Dave Roberts runs a very short leash. We saw that with Santana, who almost burned me a couple days ago, got scratched right after lock. We saw a couple days ago where it was Maeda threw 2 pitches and that was it. Me and CK were doing a show. Luckily, it didn't kill us, but it happens. You never know what Dave Roberts is gonna do. Alex Wood, could have a bad outing or give up a couple runs, and then he pulls them early, or something doesn't look right, and Dave Roberts pulls them out early. So I think for me on a short slate like this, I'm probably just gonna fade him. And I think he's a good pitcher, and I think he's a good play in a good spot. I really just don't like to play pitchers against the Braves because I think the Braves are a very talented offense, and the Dave Roberts kind of situation kind of makes me uncomfortable. So for me, I think I'm just going to fade it at that price and just look at this Herman and Morton tomorrow and cash if I'm going to play cash on the short slate.
All right, so that wraps it up for the game by game slate. Real quick, did you want to give your short take, or was that it? Just it's that short. It's literally just
I'll give my little thoughts real quick here. So I think in cash games, if you're gonna play on this 4-game slate, I'd be very careful if you're not seasoned of doing it to do that because you can lose your money. But definitely you want to look at the Colorado situation here. That should be your priority for cash games, your bats. And then you want to get in Charlie Morton and Domingo Herman here. Those are probably the pitchers I would go with. GBPs, if you want to get off Herman, you want to go somewhere cheaper. I definitely think you can give Mike Minor a shot tomorrow at 5,000. I think he's a little bit too cheap. But yeah, that's where I would go. And the Dodgers are probably going to be more contrarian because you got the Yankees on this slate, and then you have the Astros on the slate, and then you have the Arizona and Colorado in the same matchup. So the games that are going to be contrarian, obviously, is going to be that Braves Dodgers game. So if you want to get a contrarian stack together against Anibal Sanchez, who can still give it up, I would take the Dodgers lefties, 1 through 5. Don't be afraid to play Chris Taylor though. And that's really it.
All right, so that does it. I mean, that's the game-by-game breakdown. Real quick, guys, if you haven't already checked us out at ysake.com, please give us a shot here. The nation stays winning money. We got awesome analysis from everybody on the slate. Johnny, Cash, CK. I mean, basically, an MLB Day Pass, and of course, an Pauly D. Let me not forget. It's $250. That's less than pretty much anything nowadays. So give it a shot. Win some money with us. Join the nation. We cover every sport: MLB, NBA, MMA, NASCAR, PGA, you name it. I mean, I don't even have to tell you. The results speak for themselves. So daily live streams, Johnny's cheat sheets, articles, and the chat room that is actually still live right now. Shout out to the chat room. Here we go. It's still going on right now. Everybody's just chatting it up about these games for today and tomorrow. Besides that, I mean, what do you think? You want to give them some of that smoke when it comes to these guys going long?
Yeah, well, I'll give you some bombs in a second here, but I just want to kind of add real quick onto this. So, It's Saturday. A lot of the pros take off. A lot of sharks aren't there, so this is a great slate, a great day to get a day pass. Double slate, early and late. So you're getting like for 250, you get two slates to make some money on. And we should just change the name of the cash article to the free money article, because that's really what it's been in general. Yeah, I mean, literally that alone, we're not even talking the Y stream and the advice that we give on the Y stream and all the other stuff that we do with the chat and the GBB articles. But just alone, if you're a cash game player or you're trying to learn to play cash, that article alone is worth its weight in gold, and it's worth the 250 for sure. If you can't make 250 to cover that cost, you're not reading the article right, because it will cover your losses, or I should say your 250 for paying the 250 fee. Yeah, not your losses, but your cost, I should say. But other than that, man, I think it's great, great bunch of guys here. I'll be on the Y stream tomorrow, going over the 4-game slate with somebody. I'm not sure. I think it's normally me and CK. But yeah, it's great. It'll be a great show. I am always open to the members on Twitter. I get a lot of comments on Twitter. I always answer questions, and people have ask me stuff all the time. So I'm always open for you guys, and all of us here at Wise Take are. We're all here for the members, and we're all here to keep it going. And Paulie D's been on a hot streak lately. I just want to give him a shout out. He's been doing really well, and he's one of the best in the business. So I just want to let you guys know what you're missing, man. Just if you want some money, you should definitely take a look at this.
Yeah, no, I'm actually like I said, you guys can't go wrong with it. In fact, I'll be on the Y stream tomorrow for UFC 225 with Wig Splitter early tomorrow as well. That's going to be hot. Wig Splitter doesn't miss when it comes to his picks as well. In case anybody's an MMA fan, might as well just put that out there for you guys. So lastly, all right, let's get to it. Who's going yard tomorrow?
Yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and take out the Colorado game because that's just way too easy. But I'm gonna tell you that tomorrow we're gonna look at home runs. It's gonna be Matt Carpenter's gonna hit a home run tomorrow off of Luis Castillo in that Reds game. Mike Trout's gonna hit a home run tomorrow off Kyle Gibson. Let's see. Chris Davis is going to hit a home run tomorrow off Danny Duffy. And I'll give you one more. J.D. Martinez breaks his streak of against getting crushed by lefties and hits a home run tomorrow on his day back.
That sounds like solid advice. All right. Any last famous last words for everybody who's watching out there all over the internet?
No, it's just amazing how people always, send me tweets and all this stuff like, how can I make money? How can I do this? And I just tell them, just join the nation. Like, it's easy as that. The proof's in the pudding, as you say. I do this, every day. And there's really nothing I can say. Like, it's like, if you want to win money and you want to make money, you should definitely give us a shot. Again, 250, you can't go wrong. Yeah, definitely do that. And what I'm gonna do right now is like, I gotta figure out how to do this, but I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna throw out a free coaching session. All right, I don't do this very often, but I'm gonna do a free coaching session for me. We'll do anybody that signs up for a 1 month pass. You just have to do a 1 month pass. You have to sign up by Sunday. So Monday, we'll give it to Monday at noon. You have to sign up for it. If you sign up for it, tweet me. And what I will do is everybody that signs up for a monthly pass for this month, this month, it starts 30 days from the day you purchase it. I will put them in a raffle, and I will raffle off a free coaching session for me. And that alone is way worth the subscription price.
Guys, that's worth its weight in gold. You don't understand.
So,
that's essentially getting one-on-one training by one of the best in the biz, period. That's amazing. That's an awesome raffle. And if I didn't already work with you on this stuff, then I'd probably be jumping in myself. Guys, that's incredible. Johnny does not do this that often. He's too busy most of the time. So if he's putting that up, I mean, it's well worth the month pass. I definitely take advantage of it whenever possible. Yeah, like I said, by Sunday, you guys got plenty of time. Please don't miss out on that. Anywho.
Yeah, so we'll just extend it to 12 noon on Monday. 12 noon on Monday. So you need to buy this monthly pass by Monday noon we'll say my time. So I'm on the West Coast here. So that's Pacific time zone. So you have to purchase it and tweet me by noon, Pacific Coast time, that you purchased it, and then I will put you in a hat, and I will, on my show on Tuesday nights, I do the Wise Take podcast Tuesday night. I will pull a winner out of the hat, and that is a new member, and it has to be a new member. It can't be an existing member that's just renewing. It has to be a new member that's never been a part of our Wise Take Nation. And we'll do that live on the show.
That is, again, amazing. I'm actually very surprised about that, because I don't think we've ever done that so far on a Friday night to give that out. So hopefully people understand how incredible that is. Johnny just surprised me with that info. That's amazing. So lastly, guys, well, that's gonna wrap it up for us. I mean, so if you're watching on YouTube, please click that thumbs up, that like button, subscribe to the channel. Let us know what you think, what you don't think, what you like, what you didn't like, what do you want to see more of. I know we get those comments all the time, and that's how I actually get better at hosting, as well as the fact of giving you guys exactly the information you want. I love the fact that today was actually almost like a nice little clinic, just giving you a little taste of the knowledge that Johnny possesses, all these cool little tidbits that most people just don't know about DFS, period. Like I said, if you're watching on Facebook, hey Facebook, how's it going? Those of you that are already part of the nation, hello. Give us a like, share, support the nation. You guys already know what's up if you guys are subscribers already. Same thing on Twitch, on Podbean, iTunes, Twitter, everywhere. If anything, last but not least, hit us up. Find me on Twitter at @elstevo. You can also find, like he said, Johnny's at @gdaddy80. We're always here for the nation. And I guess for Johnny the Greek, I am El Stevo, and we will see you next time. Have a great one, guys. Good luck. Have fun tomorrow with these games.
Ship it.
Yeah.